As far as music, I only got a couple of new songs I heard about. My man Lloyd Banks got a new joint featuring Meth called 101 Razors.
Okay.
That's pretty dope. And then Lil Wayne, I saw he released a new song called Can't Nobody, which is dope. He's got a DMX sample in there. It's dope, man. And
Okay.
he's just rapping his ass off. So
That's what's up,
so
man.
yeah, man. Shout out to Wayne for staying strong with his music, and
Facts.
Lloyd Banks for coming back and blessing us with some music. Because remember he said he was gonna retire, so we was all like, "What the hell?" And then he came back, so I'm glad he did. And Meth killed the joint too. I think Meth might have stole that song. And then don't forget, we got the Ghostface, Raekwon, Pete Rock album. We waiting on that to drop, I'm excited about that one. But we can go ahead and move on to some topics. Young M.A. had a health situation recently, man. She had been hospitalized. She didn't really give any details from what I read. I just read something right before. But she recently gave an update saying that she was doing better and that she was going to try to be more transparent about what was going on. But just to let us know that she was doing better. What have you heard about the situation?
Pretty much the same. It looks like to me, just by looking at her, that maybe, um, like that, like drinking and partying kind of got up with her.
She did. She did kind of mention that.
Yeah.
From what I read, she said she didn't say specifically, but she was like, "It's just all the bad choices I made along the way are catching up to me." So I attributed that to drinking and maybe smoking a little bit or whatever.
Yeah, because I hope she pulls through and that she'd be able to get her audience and captivate them. Because young and made nice.
Yeah, man. She's dope nice. With the lyrics, man.
And so I hope that she'll be able to bounce back and get to doing what she's doing.
So our thoughts are with her. Hopefully she'll keep progressing and getting better. I'm glad to hear that she's doing somewhat better. So let's move on. My man, the legendary comedian Martin Lawrence is getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Clap that up, man. I have to admit, I would have assumed that he already had one. Because, he's been in the game so long and he's so legendary that it's like, why is he just getting one now? Because didn't we find out that Sesame Street characters had one? Remember when we was reading about that before?
I'm talking about
DJ Khaled was getting one.
Yeah, DJ Khaled.
Because we was like, dang,
fucking Emma.
Right. I think Bert and Ernie or Big Bird got one. Dang. So it was like, what the fuck? And so y'all just now getting to Martin Lawrence and somebody like a Sesame Street character got one. I mean, not that these characters aren't legendary because they have been helping kids be entertained for years and years. But I'm just saying, they're not real. This is a real person who put in real work, and he should have been had one. So his the day of his ceremony is 4/20. The annual Smokers Day. So but I'm happy for him. Congratulations to Martin Lawrence.
No doubt.
He's brought us so much joy and comedy over the years, man. I'm just happy that he's getting recognized finally. So, do you want to say anything else about that?
No, I think that's about it.
So let's move on. Your boy Lil Uzi Vert got a new tattoo. Kind of comes off a little more demonic. He's got an inverted cross on his tongue. I don't know what to think of him, man. I mean, everybody's saying that he's pretty much a Satanist and demonic. I've never heard him specifically say that, but I mean, he does kind of come off that way. And I think the jewel tattoo he had, didn't that shit come off?
Oh, don't get me one.
I think it got ripped off or something, by accident.
Damn.
And I think he decided not to put it back. But he does come off a little on the satanic side. I don't know, man. Y'all tell me. If we need to know, let us know. They say that his name, Lil Uzi Vert, is code for Lucifer. Yeah. So, it's like, it might be a little something there. I don't know.
Well, my thing of it is, it's like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that these artists may or may not be conscious of what they're doing.
Right. Yeah,
I'm not gonna sit here and say that, but the record labels and stuff, they the one that okay this stuff, this behavior.
Right.
So they gotta take responsibility for that. But now at the same time, no one put a gun to his head and said, "Hey, do this inverted cross in your tongue."
Right.
So,
first of all, I don't even like tattoos like that. For one, you know, but to get something burned and inked onto your tongue, that had to hurt.
yep.
I mean, my God. I mean, for one, I don't know why you would want that unless you're into some kind of weird shit. But, you know, if he is, to each his own, you know, that's his business. Won't be me though. And nobody I know does that, you know.
Nope.
At least not that I know of.
Nope. Hey, yo,
I'm just making sure.
Yo, son. Yo, man, I'm gonna look at my mouth and shit. Oh, yo, look at my man Jim, nigga.
That nigga got
Look at my man Jim, son.
We're gonna find out one day, you know, how we got something tattooed on in the cheek or some
Look,
shit.
man. If I want to have tattoos, it's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, on the hell no, I ain't gonna have no damn tattoos.
Right.
Like have like the damn, I can't get a job, so I might as well be a rapper ass look. And then the top on that talking about some I'm gonna put this shit on my tongue.
Yeah, exactly, man.
That shit crazy.
It is, man. I can't fool with it, man.
I just wonder if he tasted like black dye. I know he probably had to taste the black dye, the dye.
Exactly.
For a couple of days.
As a tattoo artist, I wouldn't even feel right doing that. I'm not putting this ink on your tongue, bro. I'm not doing that.
Messing up my gun.
Oh, I'll give you $1 million. All right, let me get my pen. Hold your tongue out, nigga.
Where you want it?
Right.
Pause.
Right.
Pause.
But yeah, I mean, you know, if he doing questionable tattoos like that, ain't no telling where else he got tattoos at. You know what I mean? But anyway, we can move on. Just, you know, that's kind of crazy to me. So I don't really, I considered getting a tattoo when I was younger, but once I became Muslim, I, you know, backed off against that because we don't do that. You know what I mean? Islam, we don't believe in, you know, putting ink on your body like that is permanent.
Really, you're not supposed to do it in the
Christianity.
Neither.
Yeah, the Bible say that too. Don't do it.
You're really not supposed to do that because you know, you're inviting. They believe that you're inviting demons. Yeah. When you do that, because because of matter of fact, I think like the Africans, they even like the Africans were telling someone I can't remember. Well, I mean, I do remember, but this guy that I was watching, he's like, yeah, man, like it was like, yeah, you know. That's Americans are crazy. They shouldn't do that because that's what you're doing. You're inviting demons. Yeah. Because you're marking yourself. So like marking is like a cut. Right. So like cutting is like blood. Right. Exactly. They transfer through blood, and that's how they. I think that's how they explain it.
Yep. But it's in the Bible. Y'all need to check it out for y'all Bible followers. It's in there. It said don't tattoo yourself. Yeah.
What's up? Know what I mean? KY over here.
What up?
What up?
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, sir.
So yeah, we can move on. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk too much about that, but they got a new documentary coming out about Freaknik.
Oh.
Yeah. That's gonna be funny.
You better make sure that your mama and your auntie wasn't in there.
Exactly.
Twerking it ass, shaking it ass.
Yeah. Because it's some questionable acts that went on in Freaknik. Now this documentary is specifically gonna focus on the year of 1994. And I mean, I've already seen some still shots where, you know, it's like, y'all was wilding like that. 94 was a good year, but my God, I'm glad I never went because ain't no telling, boy. You can come back with some kind of disease or something, man.
Well, I was 14.
Okay.
No, I was 11.
I was 11, yeah.
I was 11 in 94.
Yeah.
So, I had no business.
Yeah, you wouldn't have went.
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
I don't remember what year it stopped, but it wasn't too far after that.
90.
It was somewhere in the late 90s.
I mean, looking back at it now,
Yeah.
Because I think I did hear about it in the news. And it's like, my thing of it is, now, just to be fair, you had like Woodstock, you have all these other music festivals. There's all types of shit that goes on with these festivals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whether they be, you know what I'm saying? But it's just funny, like, we as black people aren't allowed to do, you know, it makes it seem like we're not allowed to do the same thing or have that type of expression.
Yeah.
But when they do it, it's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not to sound like a broken record, but I mean, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because, I mean, it was wilding out at Woodstock. Trust me on that one. Man, all kinds of drugs was being done in that.
There's some people don't even know who they damn daddy is.
Right. There's people who don't even remember that shit because they were so high. You know what I mean? Because, yeah. But I'm gonna check it out. You know, the little Freaknik documentary. I'm pretty sure none of my immediate friends are on there, but I might see some of my high school cohorts. You know, be like, oh shit, that's an old girl. You know, I'm gonna check it out just to see if it's anybody I know. But it's funny. You might want to get, you know, what I'm saying, get some of your joints ready. You know, get stroke hand on. Man, I'm telling you. No, I'm just playing. You know, but it's gonna be funny, man. There's already been one person I saw a post about where they was like, I think they showed a picture from Freaknik, and it was a lady who was bent over in front of a car. The door was open and she was bent over inside where her butt was sticking out of the car. And the dude, she had no bottom on. The dude was just holding her cheeks open, just letting you see it. Like, yeah, see this? The whole package, you know? And then the lady posted a response under that and said, "That's my mom. Please take that down." I was like, oh, shit. Hey, son. I was like, first of all, how you know that's your mother? All we seeing is her butt. And second of all, let me tell you, how you identifying your moms and like you did? Right. Like she was in a lineup and niggas had a lineup of ass. Right. Oh, wait a minute, spread it a little bit. Right. Yeah, that's my mom right there. What's moms, yo? Lift your sack and spread your cheeks. Pretty much. I recognize that ass anyway. That's some man right there. So yeah, that's kind of funny. I hope that was a fake response. Yeah. But yeah, so, you know, I can see a lot of that coming out. A lot of people like, oh, snap, that was me. You know what I mean? So yeah. But it wasn't me, because I ain't never went to one. I always wanted to, but I never actually done it. Mm-hmm. So anyway, let's talk about Choke No Joke real quick. This whole R. Kelly situation, you know, there's been some recent text message transcripts that have come out. Now, basically, these are text messages from Azriel Clary, who was one of his quote-unquote survivors or victims or whatever. And it was text messages between her and her mother back when she was still like a high school kid and had just met R. Kelly. And basically, in these texts, her mother sounds more like she's pimping her out, you know what I mean, to be famous. Because she knows that the daughter, Azriel, wants to sing. And so, the text messages kind of show that basically the mother was in contact with R. Kelly first. And from what I understand, the mother was pretending to be the daughter. And then the daughter eventually gets into texting R. Kelly. And the mother is telling her stuff like, you know, make sure you dress a certain way so you can seduce him. And then it was like, a picture that she sent to her mother where she was wearing a certain outfit, and her mother was like, "What are you doing? Why would you wear that? You look like you're trying to be grown. You need to look more younger because that's what he likes." So yeah, it was a whole lot of damning, incriminating evidence. Yeah. Now, there are some people who have read these texts, and based on what they're seeing, some people are saying they think these are fabricated, like R. Kelly just got he helped her make up these texts so that it would take off the pressure off of him. I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not saying I know one way or another, but it seems more to me when I hear all the texts, because Choke was reading them, you know, one by one. based on what was going on in these texts, it don't sound like nothing you could just make up and just say, let's make it seem like, you know, this is what's happening. But it was some really incriminating evidence. And so a lot of people are really upset because they're like, R. Kelly's getting 30 years over this. You know, and if this is the case, most of these parents were probably doing the same thing.
Well, I will say this. R. Kelly deserved to be in this.
He does.
I'm gonna say
but there's
that.
stuff that happened, like him and Aaliyah. I mean, you know, Choke was saying that, you know, there's no proof that he ever married Aaliyah.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's no marriage license officially on file, but there is proof that he had a marriage ceremony. Nobody would allow them to get married legally because of obviously her age. But, you know, I have seen interviews with people who were like, yeah, I was rolling with them. I was there at the ceremony. They did the ceremony. Trust me on that. One of the guys who said he was there is the girl from Escape's husband, Latasha Scott. Her husband is one of the main people. He said he was part of Rockland, which was R. Kelly's thing back in the day, like his management or distribution or some shit like that, record label. And so he was like, yeah, I was on Rockland. And so he was like, I was like right there with R. Kelly almost every day. Mm-hmm. We were like side by side all the time. So he was like, I was there when they did the ceremony. They did do a ceremony. So obviously R. Kelly did something. And plus there's a video of him, you know, urinating on that one young girl. You know, the two of those are enough to say, yeah, he did some stuff. But, you know, obviously people like maybe her mom, Azriel's mom, Alice Clary, are hearing about this and they're like, well, shit, my daughter wants to be famous, so maybe we can jump in this. And since he liked young girls, you know, because there's proof that she was 17 when she met R. Kelly. And she was, from what the text messages say, it sounded like she was having sex with him and everything. So, you know, I don't know, man. I mean, 17 is not the worst, but it's still legally underage. You still have not really developed your full brain. You still don't have the wisdom of a full-fledged adult. You know some stuff, but you don't know shit yet. You know what I mean? So obviously a young girl like that is gonna do whatever she can to be famous. You know what I mean?
But yeah, that's the thing. It's like these parents, they should be thrown in jail, right, locked away. Because I mean, you're coaching, you know, you grooming them to come in there and actually do this stuff. It's like it just, right. I mean, that's sick.
It really is, man. It really is, and I mean, I think R. Kelly does deserve some time, but maybe not to the extent that he got. You know what I mean? Maybe a lot of this is not necessarily his fault, but y'all need to go check it out, man. Go to Choke No Jokes page. He's done 2 videos, 2 or 3 actually. I think he did 3. One where he kind of went through the whole receipts. Not the receipts, you know, receipts, but text messages. And I think that video was like 2.5 hours.
Dang.
And then another video where he kind of came back and read some more text. And he also had some ladies on the channel live with him so that they could weigh in on how they felt on the female perspective. And then he also had a video where he interviewed the girl's father, Azriel's father. And, you know, he didn't hold back. He was like, you know, why the fuck was your daughter dealing with this dude? And, you know, from what I could tell, man, the father was just, he was making it seem like, you know, like it's a young girl, you know, I couldn't stop her, blah, blah, blah. You know, she was there about, you know, this and that. It happened the way it happened, but I couldn't stop her. And so, you know, he was like, we did sign off for her to go live with R. Kelly and stuff like that. Dang. But he said that we thought she was going to be living in separate quarters and it wasn't going to be nothing like that. So, you know, he did say that they signed off because she was underage. So they had to sign paperwork saying it's okay for her to go be under his care. So, yeah, it's terrible, man. If these text messages are valid, then this mother is disgusting. And I'm willing to bet the father knew too, to some degree. Maybe not all of it, but if y'all listen to some of these texts, she was really telling her daughter to do stuff like sit on his lap. Because the daughter wanted to be a singer, which she's not a bad singer. I've heard her sing.
Yeah.
She would say stuff like, has he given you a chance to perform your song in front of him? If he does, make sure you do stuff like walk up to him and stroke his face, sit on his lap, try to seduce him while you're singing the song. You know what I mean? Little shit like that. And it's like, come on, man, what are you doing? This is your daughter.
And then you wonder why our math and science has failed the fuck off because of shit like this.
Right, exactly. So, like I said, I'm not saying that these texts are absolutely 100% true, but if you listen to them, they sound more credible to me than the other theory about them that R. Kelly and an old girl just fabricated this whole thing to take the pressure off of him. I don't see it like that. The way these texts sound, I'm leaning more towards these are valid texts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I encourage y'all to, listen for yourself and formulate your own opinion. But it's disgusting, man. If you hear some of this stuff, I mean, they talked about sex and everything. She was talking to her like she was her friend, not her daughter. You know what I mean? She's talking to her like, girl, you make sure you do your thing and do this to him and that kind of talk. That's not some shit you say to your daughter. You know what I mean?
Hell no.
So I can't fuck with it, man. But y'all let us know in the comments what y'all think. Please don't forget, hit the buttons, like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe. 3, 4, I don't know, whatever. Look like I'm throwing up gang signs or some shit. But
I would repeat here because we don't want to smoke.
Right. We don't get down like that. But yeah, man. Do you want to say anything else about that before we move on?
I think that needs.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But T.I. and Boosie kind of ran into each other at the airport. Y'all know they had a little friction because T.I. kind of admitted to snitching on somebody. I think it was a cousin of his, and said that the cousin who's passed on now, from the afterlife, gave him permission to do that.
Yes,
Put
it
on me, dog. I'm already dead. It's okay. And so T.I. said he took advantage of that and ratted him out. But Boosie said, when he heard that, he was like, yo, him and T.I. was actually working on an album together, and I think they had just finished it up.
Mm-hmm.
But Boosie and them are now like, nah, we're not putting this album out. I'm not going to be on a record with no dude who is an admitted snitch. Now, it's funny because T.I. keeps saying, I can show you receipts on improve my innocence and all of that, but you did admit that you did it. So it's like, what receipts are you going to give us? You know what I mean? Oh, you going to show us that you didn't go to jail for it?
Yeah, I didn't
you know what I mean?
I didn't go to jail expeditiously.
Right.
Expeditiously.
Exactly. So I don't know, man, but T.I. been in the hot seat about that, man.
Yeah,
he had done the Crime Stoppers commercial with the 800 number and all of that. So it's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. But anyway, they supposedly ran into each other in the airport and had a talk about it. It seems like they basically deaded the issue as far as we're not going to be beefing about it. But I don't think they deaded it as far as we're friends and we can hug it out. I don't think that happened. I think they just had a long conversation and agreed to disagree. Like, we're not going to agree with this, but at least we're not enemies. I'm not going to try to fight you or shoot you when I see you in the street. You know what I mean? Shit like that.
Yeah.
So I think they're basically like, we'll leave it at that. So, the album might have been kind of dope, man. You know what I mean? I've never been a big fan of each one of them, but
just to have that vibe.
Yeah, just to see that the both of them were still trying to make music.
Atlanta and New Orleans.
Right. So, yeah. But, they supposedly squashed it to a degree.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you want to say anything about that before I move on?
I think that's it.
All right, so we can talk real quick about the Wu-Tang Saga. They did their final episode. What did you think about the episode?
Man, it was great. I think it captured the magic of what the series was about when they first got together.
Yeah.
Even though, and I will say this, even when they went number one, this is me personally, I like Wu Forever. Mm-hmm. But 36 Chambers is definitely a better album.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell, I mean, you can tell that the Clan was closer on 36 Chambers than it was on Wu-Tang Forever. Not that it was bad.
Right.
Not that it was bad, because it was good. And they kind of depict that.
Yeah, in the show.
Because in the show, like when they started celebrating, and then it was just like, you know, it felt like it was almost like a Pyrrhic victory. Because like, we got it, we did this. And then now, like, one dude's celebrating over here, one dude's over here, they just coming in, like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, damn Dipset doing like a verse or some shit. Right. Like just coming in like one at a time. Like,
yeah, they was definitely a little disjointed by the time they got to the Wu-Tang Forever album. I mean, which, like you said, it was a great album. Double album, you know what I mean? I actually had a copy of it. I had a CD of that one. But I wouldn't mind going back and getting that on vinyl or something like that. You know what I mean?
But I got 36 Chambers on vinyl.
You do? Okay. I had 36 Chambers on cassette, but all of my cassettes and CDs, for the most part, they're lost. I think I might have one or two around in a box somewhere, but yeah, I had a good collection of CDs and tapes. Yeah. And I lost a lot of my vinyls too, so now I'm trying to rebuild my vinyl collection. Yeah. But yeah, it was a great episode, man. I mean, like you said, it really captured the true essence of what was going on at the time, and you know, there was a lot of issues they were having, like Old Dirty not showing up for the shows. He was like, yo, I've been following the tour for 3 days. And it was like, you've been following the tour, nigga. You supposed to be up here on the stage with us. He's like, nah, we was in the audience, like, yeah. And it's like, imagine you're a fan and you in the audience and you look over at Old Dirty Bastards, like, right there. You're like, what the fuck, nigga? Get up on stage. He's like, nah, nigga, I'm enjoying this.
Shoot, man, it's kind of funny because I remember that one time ODB, you know, I think he was supposed to do some stuff. Everybody was waiting for him. Mm-hmm. And, he got too high to perform. It was like people were pissed about that shit. Yeah. He's like, yo, I'm too fucked up. And like, that was like.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Old Dirty was a character, man. I miss that dude, man. He brought a lot of the energy for the Wu-Tang, man. You know, he was on some other shit, but he brought a lot of energy to him. And, you know, his first album was always my favorite. You know, I think that's his best album. The Return to the 30s. Yeah, Shimmy, Shimmy, Y'all, all that.
Shimmy, yeah. Give me my mic so I can take it away.
Yep, that was my favorite album. I had that on cassette with the food stamp card on the cover, the welfare card or whatever. Yeah, the welfare card, not the food stamp card.
I think Roxanne Shante was actually talking about like her kids at the time, they were getting some albums. Mm-hmm. And they happened to pick up ODB, and it had like this food stamp card. She said, "Yeah, get that one. Mm-hmm. If they ain't doing that, I mean, it's some real shit on there. Right. Get that one."
Yeah, Old Dirty was as real as it gets, right there, man. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a great episode. You know, I love what they did, and at the end, you know, it showed like the whole cast, you know, just kind of lip syncing along with the Triumph song. Which was dope. And then, I mean, during the episode, they did like the concerts, and they had that conflict where they were trying to cancel them. They were doing a tour with Rage Against the Machine, which if Wu-Tang really knew how dope Rage was at the time, I think they would have really appreciated that. But because they weren't really familiar, that's why Raekwon was like, who the fuck is these? You know, they rock and roll. That's not our fans. These are white people. But I mean, they was dope. Rage Against the Machine was pretty dope. You know,
Rage.
If they really knew, I think they would have appreciated because Rage has a hip hop element to it.
Oh yeah, Rage was the man.
So yeah,
man, Zach. Man, I covered Zach before. Yeah, Zach is a monster, man. When it comes to that mic.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what nobody says.
I did one of his on the lyrical breakdown. So you know, he's definitely dope, man.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and speaking of the Wu-Tang, because of that, y'all, I had to do a lyrical breakdown for Wu Wednesday, you know what I mean, for my man's Inspector Deck for his legendary verse on Triumph, the whole I bomb atomically. That really just encapsulates, the spirit of lyricism, the spirit of the Wu-Tang, everything, man. He just paints such a dope picture with that. And so, y'all should go check that out as well. So, yeah. But anyway, you want to say anything else before we wrap it up?
Yeah, man. Just, yo, if you haven't had a chance to see that series, that was the last episode. Oh, and I don't know, they had like other stuff that they shared. They actually did like the filming. They actually showed like, I think I shared that with you. They had all the filming and all that stuff. The actual characters from the Wu, actually singing and doing like, I guess, a rough rehearsal or whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool to see.
Yep,
it was cool to see. Yeah.
Yeah, some behind the scenes footage, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was dope, man. It just really, it was like, I thought, a lot of times you get a good show like that, and as it goes on season to season, maybe it gets a little stale or dwindles off. This actually got better.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. That's, even if you're not a Wu-Tang fan, you should see it.
Yeah.
Because it does get better over time.
Yep, and it's good even if you are not familiar with the Wu-Tang, just as a good drama series, because it really encapsulates all of what was going on in New York and all the shit they went through, and yeah, it's really good, man. So I implore anybody to go see that, man. It's worth your time. They had 3 strong seasons and they ended it off on the right note. So yeah, so I'm proud of RZA and the Wu and Meth and all of them who were behind it. You know what I mean? So. Yeah. But anyway, I guess we can go ahead and wrap up the show, man.
We gotta get the Chinese food.
Yeah, we're gonna go run and get something to eat. Thank y'all again for checking us out. You know what I mean? It's a pleasure always doing the show. And we will see y'all next week for another show. You know what I mean?
Yep.
This has been episode 238.
38.
I was gonna test you like, does he remember now?
I remember.
All right, for Trying Hip Hop Podcast, it's your man Kurt, and this is
Howie.
And we'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
Wu-Tang Killer Bee.